Today we'll be taking a look at the Flexispot Truffle Recliner. And I'll be honest with you, recliners are not something that I typically cover on this channel, but I've used a lot of Flexispot's products in the past, and I've generally been pretty happy with them. So when Flexispot reached out to me about the Truffle Recliner, I was genuinely curious to try it out. Now, it's a power recliner with real top-grain leather that's currently on sale for under $600, and that's a price point that's really hard to ignore for what you're getting. Now, I've been testing this recliner for the past several months now in my main living room setup, and I have a pretty solid sense of what this chair does well and where it falls a little short. Now, before we dive in, I do want to mention that this video is sponsored by Flexispot. That said, they are only paying me for my production time and not my opinion. Everything I say is based on actually using this recliner in my own setup. So with that out of the way, let's jump right into the review, starting with the design. So right off the bat, the Truffle Recliner makes a strong first impression. It has a clean, all-leather design with a compact form factor that gives it a sleek, elevated look. It doesn't feel like your traditional bulky recliner. It's much more modern and refined, and I think that's going to appeal to a lot of people. In terms of where it fits in a space, I think this would look really nice in a contemporary living room or a home theater setup. The design has a certain premium quality to it, and it pairs really well with a cleaner, more modern interior in my opinion. If you're going for a more cozy, traditional vibe with warm tones and soft textures, then this might not be the aesthetic you're after. But if you like things looking sharp and put together, then this recliner pulls it off really well. Now, one of my favorite things about this recliner is that it is a true wall hugger. Now, I want to be really clear about what that means because a lot of recliners claim to be wall huggers but still require a significant amount of clearance behind them to fully recline. With the Truffle Recliner, you only need about 1.2 inches of space between the back of the chair and the wall to get the full recline range. That's genuinely impressive and makes this chair a lot more versatile, especially if you're working with a tighter room or want the chair to sit flush against the wall. When it comes to materials, the Truffle uses real top-grain leather, and you can really feel the difference compared to faux leather. It's soft to the touch, it looks high quality, and it's going to hold up really well over time. Faux leather tends to peel and crack over the years, which is honestly one of the worst things about going with budget furniture. But top-grain leather ages much more gracefully, so this is a meaningful upgrade. The frame and base feel solid and well put together. Everything fits seamlessly, and the assembly is actually tool-free, which is a nice touch. All of the components, including the backrest and the armrest, use these kind of metal sliding rails, and you just need to slide them into place and they click together. From there, you just need to connect a few wires together. All in all, this assembly only took me like 10 to 15 minutes alone. The Truffle Recliner comes in two different colors. Chocolate, which is kind of like a darker brown, and latte, which is a lighter, warmer tone. Both look good in my opinion. I have the chocolate version, and I think it looks really sharp in person. But now let's talk about some of the features that you're gonna get, because the Truffle Recliner comes with a bunch of them. First of all, the recline itself is powered, so there's no manual lever that you'll need to deal with. You just use the two buttons on the side, and the whole thing moves really smoothly and quickly. It doesn't feel sluggish at all. It's pretty snappy and responsive. You also get a USB-A and a USB-C port on the side, which you can use to charge your devices. You also get storage pockets on both sides that you can use for tablets, magazines, or remotes without having to lean over and reach for something. You also get two cup holders, one on each armrest with removable metal inserts that give you a deeper pocket for bottles. Overall, there's just a bunch of little small, nice quality of life details that actually get used. Now in the side pouch, you'll find a remote that controls the heating and massage functions. The controls are pretty straightforward. You can cycle through different vibration patterns and intensity levels, set a timer, and choose between lumbar only, seat only, or both simultaneously for the massage. Now when it comes to the heat function, it's a little bit more limited since you can only turn it on and off and set a timer. As far as I know, you can't adjust the intensity, and it's worth noting that the heat only covers the lumbar section of the backrest and not the seat itself. But overall, both the heating and massage features work really well, and the controls are easy to figure out. But I'll get more into how they actually feel in the comfort section of this review. The headrest is also adjustable with 3 different positions using a ratcheting mechanism. This lets you angle your head forward when you're reclined so that you can actually see your TV. But we'll get more into that in a bit as well. So now let's get into the actual comfort of the recliner. Starting with the seat, the padding is a little bit on the firmer side. It's not a pillow top seat where you'll sink all the way in, but it's still comfortable. I actually prefer this because when the seat is too soft, it can actually cause lower back pain over time since your hips will drop and your posture suffers. With the Truffle, you feel properly supported without bottoming out at all. That being said, it's not rock hard or firm like an office chair seat or anything. It's still a sofa recliner, so you're going to have some decent cushioning for comfort. When it comes to the dimensions, the seat is 22 inches wide and 20 inches deep, which gives you a decent amount of room to move around and shift positions. That said, this is very much a single-person recliner. It's not an oversized model built for two, so if you're someone who likes to cozy up with a partner on the couch, then this might not be the best option. But when it comes to the backrest, it is a completely different story compared to the seat. Where the seat is kind of meant to be a bit firmer for extra support, the backrest is much softer with a plush pillow top feel. It's thick, it's cushy, and you really do sink into it, which feels great when you're in a reclined position. The leather on the backrest feels really high quality and soft against your back. And when you pair it with the heating function, it becomes really comfortable, especially in a cold room. I know a lot of people like to put their recliners in basements or home theaters, which tend to get chilly. I personally use the heating feature pretty regularly because it gets really cold where I'm at during the winter, and it genuinely adds adds to the cozy experience. But as for the massage function, to be honest with you, I'm personally not the biggest fan of vibration-based massage. It's definitely not a replacement for like an actual massage chair, and I don't really find that it does a whole lot for me. So personally, I really don't use it much. That said, I know some people really like it, so it's there if you want it, and it works pretty well for what it is. When it comes to the headrest, it's pretty comfortable in my opinion. It has thicker cushion padding and a wide design, so you have plenty of room to settle in or shift around. The adjustable ratcheting mechanism lets you set it to one of 3 different positions, so you can tilt your head forward when you're reclined. This is really important for when you want to be able to see your TV without straining your neck. This is a feature I use a lot. I basically always move it to a forward angle when I recline, and it works really well in my opinion. Now the one minor gripe I have is that resetting the headrest back to its neutral position requires pulling it pretty far forward, which can be pretty awkward while you're sitting in the chair. I basically need to get up out of the chair to pull it forward. Now it's definitely not a deal breaker, kind of just a minor inconvenience. When it comes to the footrest, it's decently padded and pretty comfortable to use. The extension feels smooth, and the powered operation means it deploys right along with the recline motion. That said, the footrest isn't particularly long. Now I'm pretty short at 5'6", and my feet do hang off the edge a little bit. For me personally, I still feel properly supported and balanced. Overall, I find it pretty comfortable to use. That being said, if you're significantly taller than me, then your legs might not be fully supported, and that could be a comfort issue over longer sessions. One thing worth mentioning is that if the footrest is extended and you try to get up out of the chair without retracting it first, then the recliner does tend to tip forward. This is definitely worth mentioning because since this is a powered footrest that takes a little bit of time to retract, I know a lot of people might be tempted to just hop up without waiting for it to close. So just keep that in mind, especially if you're just trying to get up quickly. The armrests have pretty light padding on them, so they're a little on the firmer side. They're not the type that you're going to sink into, but they're pretty functional. One thing I noticed is that the armrests are fairly far apart and not particularly wide, so I do find myself having to spread out my arms a little bit to use them properly. It's not uncomfortable, it's just something to be aware of depending on your build. Like I said, you get 2 cup holders on each side, and I think these are a really nice touch. The removable metal inserts give you a deeper pocket if you need to fit in a water bottle, and having them built right into the armrest means you're not reaching over to a side table every time. Now when it comes to the overall recline experience, I'd say it's pretty solid. The buttons feel responsive, the motion is smooth, and the recline speed feels just right. It's quick enough so that you're not waiting around, but controlled enough so that it doesn't feel jarring. You get a good range of motion, and it's comfortable enough that I could absolutely take a nap in it. And again, I love how close you can push it up to the wall. It's a true wall hugger, and you only need about 1.5 inches of space away from the wall in order to get the full recline motion. This makes it super versatile in terms of where you can place it in your room, especially if you have a smaller living space. So now let's talk about value, because I think this is where the Truffle recliner really makes a compelling case for itself. For under $600, you're getting a powered recliner with real top-grain leather, heating and massage functions, and a ton of other nice quality of life features. Now, when you stack all that up against what you typically pay for a real leather power recliner with even a fraction of those features, $600 is genuinely competitive pricing. Top-grain leather alone is a pretty meaningful differentiator at this price point. Many recliners at this price range use faux leather or bonded leather, both of which tend to peel and degrade over time. The fact that you're getting genuine top-grain leather here is a real long-term value win. So overall, the Flexispot Truffle recliner is a solid product for what it's asking. The top grain leather looks and feels premium, the true wall hugger design gives it a lot of flexibility in terms of placement, and the powered recline is smooth and responsive. The heating function is genuinely useful, and the little extras like USB ports, storage pockets, and cup holders add to the comfortable, practical experience. So who is the Truffle recliner for? If you're looking for a modern, well-built recliner with real leather that doesn't take up a lot of space and is at a fairly budget price, then the Truffle is a really strong option. So if you're interested in checking out the Flexispot Truffle recliner, I'll have an affiliate link down in the description. And if you have any questions at all, feel free to drop them in the comments below. And as always, if this review was helpful to you, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more.